Hi, my name is Ranger Sierra, and today we're going to be learning all about invasive species and why they matter. Let's start with the basics. What is an invasive species? There are a lot of different definitions of invasive species, but it's generally agreed that an invasive species is a plant or animal that is moved by humans to a new area and causes harm to other plants and animals or human activity. Invasive species are often introduced on accident. One seed attached to someone's foot could travel across the entire country, and thanks to cars and planes, even across the entire world. Animals like fish and insects and mice can get into large boats and be carried all the way to a brand new habitat. While invasive species are often introduced on accident, that's not always the case. Sometimes people will plant them right in their backyards, for instance, if it's a plant that has a very pretty flower. In North America, most invasive species are originally from Europe or Asia. Did you know that pigeons, house sparrows, and most earthworms are originally from Europe? As I mentioned earlier, invasive species are species that are introduced to a new habitat, and they cause harm to native species or human activity. Native species are species that have lived in an area for hundreds of years, and they have an important place in that area's food web. Let's think about the things that native plants need to grow. They need water, air, sunlight, and space. Invasive species will outcompete the native species for these resources. You might be wondering what I mean when I say outcompete. This usually means that the invasive plants are able to block the sun with their leaves so that the smaller plants can't get any sunlight. Without sunlight, the smaller native plants will die. As you can see, the native and invasive plants are having a competition for sunlight, and the invasive plants usually win, or we like to say they outcompete the native plants. Over time, the invasive species will spread, and the native species are pushed out of the ecosystem. Not only does this mean that we lose the native species, but it also means that the invasive species are creating lasting changes to the ecosystem and making it harder to restore the natural balance. Because invasive species are such a problem, we need to learn to identify them. This means that we need to learn what the invasive species look like so that we can prevent their spread, and we also need to know what the native species look like so we can do everything we can to help them grow. There are lots of invasive plants on the St. Croix River in between the states of Minnesota and Wisconsin. Many of them are listed on your scavenger hunt sheet. Let's see if you can tell the difference between the invasive and native ones. I'll give you a hint. There's a little hint near each picture. After this, we're going to go on a hike on the Tewksbury Track. I need your help to help me identify which species are invasive and which ones are native.